How we doing?
How are you doing?
Doing good.
Josh, describe your emotions into that. I don't think I've ever seen that reaction out of you after a game, especially that extended reaction.
Well, I mean, it took everybody there. Just proud of our team for staying in it. No one on the sideline blinked. I mean, down 15 points, whatever we were, with 5-6 minutes left, staying with it. Fans leaving, the stadium. You got to play this game for 60 minutes, and that's a really good outfit that we just played. And God willing, we take care of business how we're supposed to, and how we think we will. It's probably a team we'll see again. So, they're a greatly coached team. Hats off to them for having a really good game plan. But we stuck in there, and I'm just proud of our guys.
What happened in the first half when you guys had the back-to-back 3-and-outs, but you were able to obviously rebound from that? Just what were you saying to guys on the sideline to kind of get back in a flow?
Just stay with it. Trust it. Trust what Joe's calling. That's all we did. Just try to take it one game at a time. No matter how far down we are, we don't look at the scoreboard. We just try to go out there and execute our play.
You just said how guys didn't blink on the sideline. What was that like keeping everyone in the game despite, being down when you were so late? What were the conversations like? What was it like on the sideline?
Yeah, I mean, basically saying, we're still in this. It's a 2-score game. We score, defense get a stop. We get to go out there again. And, hats off to our defense in that, the last 3 or 4 drives, playing some big boy football. That's a really, really good offense. It's a really good team. So, yeah.
For them to get the takeaway when it happened, what was it like, the reaction on the sideline for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it takes that sometimes to go your way. The 4th down tip touchdown to Keon, again, sometimes the ball's got to bounce your way, and it bounced our way tonight.
What about Keon? Everybody's talking about him stepping up this year. What about what he did for you tonight?
He stepped up for us. He made some good plays. Proud of him.
Weird question, but what was your first conversation with Matt Prater?
Honestly, I met him in the locker room 2 days ago. He showed me a video of his son playing quarterback. That's how we met. And today, before the game, he comes up to me, in the locker room. Before we even take the field, he just said, "Hey, I promise you I'm going to give you everything I got tonight." It's a guy that's been around the league for a long time, and I'm just thankful he's here for us.
Josh, just going to talk about down 40-25. What did Coach McDermott tell you guys at that moment?
I mean, I don't think he needed to say anything. Obviously, we want to go out there and execute each and every play. We knew that we were capable of doing more. And Joe Brady always talks about the reward for doing is the opportunity to do more, and that's what we had tonight, and we took advantage of it.
The play to Jackson Hall is just to get him involved in, such a big moment in the game. What did that mean?
Huge catch, big body. Made a heck of a catch to get us down there. It was awesome.
What did you see down the stretch where you were able to get Keon Coleman the ball? It seemed like in that second half, y'all really started establishing some sort of rhythm. What did you see there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the defense just understanding and playing the situation, kind of keeping everything in front of them. We knew that they weren't going to really bite on any double moves or, take any shots downfield. So we had to kind of be methodical, and I know being down 2 scores and taking, a slower pace doesn't seem like it's a great move, but that's what we have to do, and that's what we did, and worked out for us.
Can you tell me about some of the plays that Ed made tonight? Not just the forced fumble at the end, but the 6-7 tackles, 3 or 4.
He played unbelievable tonight. Again, when you got a quarterback that talented over there and a running back that talented over there, it takes everybody doing their job, and it takes a few guys doing more than their own job, and I think Ed did that. Ed did that tonight.
It seemed like as the game went on, you were getting better chemistry with Josh Palmer. Did that feel that way to you?
Absolutely. Josh is a vet. We're going to continue to grow. Proud of him for sticking in it and staying in the moment. He made some really good plays for us down the stretch.
So, I mean, you signed, Friday? And you're kicking on Sunday Night Football and winning the game at the end. That's kind of a crazy start to your Bills tenure, huh?
Yeah, it was crazy. Took a red eye, came practice, got to meet some of the guys. And honestly, I saw a really good practice, a really good team, and I was excited to be a part of it. And yeah, so saw practice, got a good night's sleep, kicked a little bit Friday, and then rolled into the game.
It seemed like you were perfectly comfortable in that. I mean, it was kind of a fire drill at the end because that's the way you wanted to play it. But I mean, you know, normally a kicker's been doing that with the team for a long time. You guys looked like it was flawless there.
Well, Reed and Brad do such a good job, and Coach kind of explained the situation, which I kind of knew from the years. But I just had all the confidence in the world, and I just have to go do my part and just try to kick it straight. You know, it was the snap and holds were money all day. Protection was great, and so I just got to do my part and make the kicks.
Matt, you played for a long time in this league. Have you been a part of a game that crazy?
Yeah, we had some crazy years in Denver with Tebow. Back yeah. So yeah.
All right, you got me.
How was it though to be a part of this atmosphere here?
I'm
this
still on.
particular game.
I'm still on cloud nine. It was just such a fun experience and awesome just to be a part of it.
Josh Allen recalled the conversation you guys had earlier this week when you told him, I'm just going to go out there and give it everything I've got. Just, what can you remember about that conversation, just how you've been able to compartmentalize just this whole process?
Well, it's just something I wanted to tell him. I know we don't know each other that well yet, but I just want to let you know, I know I just got here, and it may not be perfect right now, but I'm going to do everything I can to try to be perfect to help, just help this team win while I'm here.
You said you showed him a video of your son playing quarterback.
Yeah, my son plays quarterback. I actually am an assistant coach for his team back in Arizona, and that's actually what I was doing when I got the phone call, was writing practice out for the kids. And so I was talking to Brad Robbins, the punter. When he was at Michigan, I was playing in Detroit, so we used to work out together in the off season. So he knows my kids, and I randomly was showing videos of packs, and he's like, "You have to show that to Josh. That's incredible." So randomly just crossed paths with Josh in the locker room. I was like, "Hey, someone told me to show you this real quick," and that was it. But it was cool.
How'd the team do this week? The one
They-
you were coaching?
Oh, they have their first game is the 27th
Oh, okay,
this
so
month.
you've got some time.
Yeah, I kind of passed off those duties.
I would say so.
So what time on Thursday did you actually get into Buffalo?
6:30 or 7 in the morning, then straight to physicals, then to the facility.
What have the last few months been like for you? Just, trying to rehab, get ready, be ready. Just what has that all been like?
Yeah, just working out, staying in shape as best I can. I was working out with Matt Hawk, who played here in Miami, and Adam, a snapper. So I was getting snap and holds at least instead of just kicking off the stick. So that's as close as I could get to game reps with those guys. But working out, coaching the kids in football, and honestly just being full-time dad. Kids go to school, and then I'd be dropping them off in the morning. That's my favorite, is drop off. And then I would do pickup, and then their activities, their dance, gymnastics, football. So I just love being involved in all that stuff.
When you mentioned that you knew Brad Robbins before, did you know Reed at all?
I had met Reed a few times just from over the years playing against him, and obviously you know how good of a snapper he is to be in the same place 10 plus years now. So I was excited to work with him and Brad as well.
What high school were you coaching at?
It wasn't a high school.
Oh,
It's the Youth Santan Football League, and I was coaching 9 to 11-year-olds.
What did you notice about the team's resolve? I mean, obviously you just got here, but just what do you notice how everybody just kind of collectively handled those last 5 minutes?
Well, the biggest thing I noticed when we got down early, 2 scores, no one blinked at all, or skipped a beat. They just kept going. And other places in the past, it didn't seem like that. They kind of like crumble almost, or just be defeated. And they just kept fighting. And then at the end, when we got the ball back with the 30 seconds, I knew we were going to get a shot. And then when they got it super close, I was like, oh, it's even better. So.
Where do you think you could have hit it from?
I don't know. Right there was perfect.
Thanks, man.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Welcome to Buffalo.
That's crazy.
What do you want to start with?
Well, great win. They're hard to come by, and that locker room, man, they kept playing. Those guys and the coaches kept coaching. Wasn't pretty at times, and so we'll learn. Got a lot to learn from this game, and it's always good that you can learn after a win than after a loss. Whenever you're trying to start a season as a coach, it's important that you get that you can win a close one, and because it helps the buy-in, and got a lot of new faces in that locker room, and guys got a chance tonight to experience coming together as a team for the first time and experience Buffalo, city of winners, right? So great win for our team, great win for our community, and Bills Mafia overall. So couldn't be prouder. Happy for Matt just joining us here and being able to do that. There's a lot that went into it before that, but just awesome to execute at that level with the game on the line.
We just talked to Matt about his week. What did you see out of him? I know you told us Friday that was the first day you were really seeing him kick. Just
Yeah.
what was it like seeing him navigate the last, I don't know, 72 hours or whatever it is?
Yeah, true. I mean, right away you could just tell that he's been in the league a long time. He's a true pro. Just honestly, watching him Friday, you guys were there for part of it, but watching, we were in red zone, and then I turned around and watched Matt kick because that was his first time really kicking for us. So I could get a feel, we could get a feel for, what his distance is. And then we stayed after a little bit to watch him again, and just again trying to build familiarity with our kicker, right? So it was a little bit windier then than it was tonight, so that was a little bit of a different environment, I'd call it. But Matt's a true pro. I think he may own the record. I'm not sure of like fourth quarter walk-off kicks to win a game. So don't quote me on that, but you may want to do some research. But I'm very confident in him when he went out there. I think just handling that situation overall. You guys are at practice. You see us handle some of those or rehearse some of those situations where we have to get the offense off and the field goal team on. I thought the coaches and the players, led by Josh out there, were very calm in handling that situation.
Sean, I know you're not over there on the sidelines thinking the game's over at any point until it's 0-0, but does this one maybe, you're down 18 points with 4 minutes to go, does that fall in the improbable category, at least?
God is good.
Especially with that opponent, right?
Yeah, glory to God, man. Glory to God. That's who deserves the credit first and foremost. Baltimore's got a great team, and they're very well coached. We were fortunate to win it tonight. Maybe we'll see them again at some point. We have the utmost respect for them, their coaches, players, and their organization. So overall, again, just you learn from these. Again, it's good to get the win and be able to learn from it. A lot to clean up in all three phases. So we go back to work in a few hours here and work on getting that cleaned up.
Sean, what do you see from Josh in terms of, in that fourth quarter especially, almost zero room for error? What did you see for him as he kind of orchestrated that comeback?
Extremely comfortable. And again, you guys watch us practice. We start every practice, at least 2 of the 3 practices that we get during the week, with 2 minute. And he's extremely comfortable in those situations, and the result's the result. I think too, Josh, but also the rest of the guys around him are extremely comfortable in that situation. So like when you practice it over and over and over again, you try and hit as many of those situations, different time on the clock, different amount of timeouts to put our guys at practice under some stress. They don't like it sometimes. They get a little bit mad at me, but it's for a good reason. So I'll take that.
What about the way he operates, not necessarily on the field, but on the sideline during those moments?
How Josh operates? On the sideline?
Yeah, on the sideline. Just
Before he goes out there?
He never seems to be this or this. He just kind of seems to be right in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what music he listens to. That could play a part in it, I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear what's on his, headphones or whatever they call them these days, AirPods. I have to ask my kids what they call those these days. Sony Walkman, No, Josh is he's always been like that, though. He wants the ball in key moments of the game. That's what the great ones, that's their mindset. That's what they want. That's what they do. And he's never out of it in his mind. And, shoot, it was 4th and, 15 or 16. And I'm actually trying to think, I'm going through it. I'm like, should I give him a shot right here? But I felt like there was still enough game left, and defense stepped up, made 3 big stops, 1 takeaway down the stretch, and next we're right there at the doorstep. And great throw to I think it was Joshua Palmer on the outside breaker that got us in range. We felt like we had to get inside or at least into the 45 window for Matt, and we got actually obviously a little bit closer there. So great play calling by Joe and Bobby down the stretch there as well, and being able to come in and Coach Tabes and execute that extremely well. He's a veteran special teams coach, and led by Reed and Brad with the hold there in the operation. So, it takes kind of communication through that sequence of, I think it was Keon that had the catch. We get the first down. They have 3 timeouts still, and we go bang, 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 and we're just trying to communicate. The headsets in those situations are not as easy as you'd think. We're trying to communicate what we want to do, how much time will be left if they take all 3, and we run it 3 times like we did basically, and then what it's going to entail for us to actually kick it with 4 or 3 seconds left. So a lot of mental gymnastics. A similar situation happened earlier in a game this week before half, actually, on a quick switch out like that. Ours was not as quick, but was for a game winner with no timeouts there, certainly. So well executed.
Sean, Palmer and Coleman the first 3 quarters, maybe a little bit slower, but both of those guys stepped up in the fourth quarter and made big plays for you. What did you see from both of them?
Yeah, great to see. I mean, Keon, having the year, the offseason that he's had, and the camp. You guys have been out of practice again, and you've watched him develop. You've watched him grow. You've watched his approach, his maturity, right, this year, and the way he's developed. So credit to him, and the night that he had was big for us. And then Joshua Palmer, I call him Joshua to separate Josh and Joshua, but Joshua being new to us and new to our environment, he's really done a great job of, being him and adding his kind of spark to our offense, to our building, and the way he handles himself, again, as a professional.
How does your view of the defense look? I mean, you won the game. That's different, but defense in general, 40 points. How do you? Which is your assessment?
It's not. It wasn't even close to what I would expect us to be able to get to. We've got some young guys out there, and those guys, they want some of those plays back as well, and but just fundamentally executing what we do, fundamentally being in your gap, fundamentally, and that's not just up front; it's the whole defense, and then fundamentally tackling better. That's where it starts. I thought they did a better job of just calming down late in the game. Even really, I think we got them into a 3rd down and long, maybe the first 3rd down after half, and then we didn't execute well enough in that situation. So just we can be better, but I really do appreciate how they stuck together, and that's true of this whole team, right? So it wasn't going well. This is a really good team, really good opponent. We knew they were going to make some plays, and so you just got to stay with it, and it's the NFL. It's kind of life in the NFL, So, but you better believe we're gonna grind this week and put in the hours to figure out how we need to improve and get things. The goal is to improve each week, and so. But proud of the way the guys persevered.
You don't have forced fumble on your card, but what's your thought when you have to have it?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah, well, you punch at the ball. I mean, that's kind of 4-minute defense. Not that it was. I believe it was under 4 minutes, or maybe that one wasn't. But the drive before where we got the fumble, I think, was just outside of that. And you have to play them what we call tight. You have to be ready to challenge them. I thought Bobby's play calling down the stretch was really on point, and the players executed. They were in their gaps. They played with violent hands, and I believe it was Ed that punched it out. And then we were swarming to the ball. So it's playing the defense we would have loved to have played early in the game, quite honestly. So, but I appreciate the way that the defensive staff adjusted and the players adjusted as well. So if they don't do what they did, we probably don't win the game. So you try and take the good, but also put the work in on the bad, and credit the guys. They played a complimentary fashion down the stretch, so it was good to see.
Sean, you mentioned Ed right there, not just forced a fumble, but he had a sack, had a tackles for loss. Just what did you make of his overall performance?
Yeah, he played. He really did. He played big time and played big for us, and the sack and that play, and I mean he's had a great start to the season, but even before that, came in very focused in training camp. Again, fun to watch players develop, mature, grow, and he's been great for us day in and day out.
Sean, been a lot of games played in that stadium. This is the final, season opener. Any thought of kind of like the magic surrounding it?
Yeah. I mean, listen, this one will be one of those stories that are told for a long time, right? Growing up, me watching the Bills from Pennsylvania and watching that playoff game, when you hear stories of people were trying to climb the fences to get back in, and then they're saying, no, we actually opened gates, and so maybe some of that was happening tonight. You never know, but I'm sure people are going to wake up, some Buffalonians maybe, and maybe people just around the country and be like, well, wait, that happened, right? So I think people talk about it for a long time. We will live it tonight, but we have to move on. So.
Sean, Sal asked you about it a little bit ago. You got to coach until the end, right?
Yeah.
You're always trying to figure something out. Did you have a moment when you knew? Like you felt confident we're going to get this?
I think when our defense got the takeaway, I think that was a big momentum shift. Yeah, big momentum shift. And then when we got the ball, when we made that third down stop before they punted, I mean, that was a big stop right there. If they convert, that game's over. So I thought Bobby made a great call, players executed, and that's a big call right there, easier said than done. And we got the ball back and plenty of time left, no timeouts. We're good, so.
It's tricky. Were you at all surprised that they didn't go for it? It was 4th and 3.
I know, yeah.
They get it.
Yeah, listen, it's resulting, right? I know why Coach did what he did, and I respect him. Like the day is long here. He's a great coach, and you don't make it, you hand us the ball, and basically almost in field goal range. So, he's a great coach, and you never know until you're in that situation what you'd really do. So.
When you kicked that last extra point, why did you do that instead of go for 2?
Yeah, wanted to make them play offense. So earlier in the game we went for 2. Earlier in the game when we had the penalty, we got the ball on the 1. We went for 2, didn't convert. I think we were down 15. Prior to, went for 2, knowing we're going to have to go for 2 at some point. Didn't get it again, so I just felt like our offense was tired. I felt like I wanted to make them play offense. Didn't want to put the game on that next play right there, and end up working out, really. So they had to play offense, and we got the ball back. So.
Sean, you say you can enjoy this now and then go tomorrow. How do you make sure you do that? How do you make sure that you guys get right back to what the next task at hand is?
Yeah, I mean, this is, as you guys know, it's a week-to-week league, and this is, again, where these new players, young players, how we handle success is important, right? And the next opponent is home resting, right now. So, we're up late at night, and we got to start by getting our rest and handling wins and success the right way, and making sure that we have truth-filled conversations, that it wasn't all the way it needed to be up to our standards. So that's the journey of a season. That's the journey of trying to, move a team step by step in the right direction, and we have to embrace that growth mindset as we move forward here. Good. Thank you, guys.